Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good Sunday morning to you all. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Alex Finney, and today alongside of me is Storm Track meteorologist Nate Harrington.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, it's like riding a bicycle. Once you do it, you can't forget it. Being back in the morning show.
How to do this early morning stuff. Yeah, Michael Smith is going to fill in for me later this evening, so I get to join you guys this morning.
Hey, we love having you.
Yeah. We're talking temperatures once again. It's just been like a broken record. Very hot all of September, and we're starting off this morning. Not so hot, but numbers are in the 60s and 70s. It's mild for this time of year. 74 right now in Birmingham is the mild spot around the area, but a lot of upper 60s. 69s in Jasper, Hamilton, Aliceville, Alabaster, and down in Talladega and Pell City. And then 68s in Gadsden, Coleman, and Tuscaloosa. We're right at 70 in Clanton and Anniston. Now, a little bit of cloud cover. That's made things a little milder for this morning, but those clouds not going to hang around too much longer. We're going to see a mostly dry, mostly clear sky for today. This is what we're looking at for the rest of the morning into the early afternoon hours. Some clouds around, and I think those clouds will turn into a mostly sunny sky by later this morning. Temperatures rising through the upper 80s by around lunchtime, and once again, we're going to be very warm for the afternoon hours. 95s, 96s all across central Alabama. The 22nd day most likely that we will hit 90 degrees, but I think that streak comes to an end next week. We'll talk about the big cool down ahead in your Storm Track 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Alex, over to you.
Thanks, Nate. Breaking overnight, police in Washington state have the man in custody believed to have killed 5 people at the Cascade Mall in Burlington. Now, we're also learning new details about this man and the shooting itself. We're going to go to that video right now. You can see the surveillance picture there. The man has been identified as 20-year-old Arkin Seton. Police were able to get him near his home in Oak Harbor, which is about 30 minutes from the mall without incident. Now, police say he was armed, and they described him as, quote, zombie-like. Here's how one sheriff described tracking him down.
I saw an individual walking northbound on the sidewalk, and I instantly recognized that is the person I had just viewed on my computer. I did an abrupt U-turn, hit my lights, pulled my gun, and myself and Reserve Deputy Eric Grombaugh took the individual into custody.
The 4 women who died were shot in the makeup area of the Macy's store there. Now, a man was shot and later died at the hospital. Police say video shows the man coming into the mall, then entering the Macy's with a hunting-style rifle. Developing now, police in Charlotte are releasing video officers recorded leading up to the deadly shooting of 43-year-old Keith Lamont Scott. CBS's Kenneth Craig shows us this new video and brings us continuing coverage from Charlotte.
Dashcam video shows Charlotte police officers surrounding a car, yelling, "Drop the gun." You also hear a woman saying he doesn't have a gun. Scott eventually gets out of an SUV, his hands at his side as he backs away. You continue to hear someone yell, "Drop the gun," and then shots are fired. From another angle, body camera video shows an officer pointing a gun at Scott while the 43-year-old stands outside his car. Police Chief Kerr Putney says Scott had a gun in his hand, but that cannot be seen on the video. The department also released a photograph of a gun found at the scene and said tests revealed Scott's DNA and fingerprints on the weapon. The police chief said officers were at the scene to arrest someone else, but got involved with Scott after they noticed him with marijuana and a gun.
What we're releasing are the objective facts.
Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. He has no weapon.
Scott's wife insists her husband did not have a gun.
Family members said they were pleased the footage was finally released, but they aren't satisfied.
We are left with far more questions than we have answers. It does not make sense to us how it's possible that this incident resulted in the loss of life.
Hundreds of protesters peacefully demonstrated for a 5th-day Saturday. A citywide curfew remains in effect. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Charlotte.
The question of whether Scott had a gun or a book remains a key issue in the investigation. Stay with CBS 42 for the latest developments right here on air and also online. And of course, don't forget our WIAT News app. Right now, a Tuscaloosa woman is facing attempted murder and assault charges after allegedly attacking a teenager with a sledgehammer. Listen to this. 32-year-old Sharonda Witherspoon was arrested on Friday. A witness claims she and a 17-year-old girl knocked on the door of a Tuscaloosa apartment and a boy answered. Well, that's when she allegedly swung the sledgehammer at him. A 13 and 17-year-old boy were stabbed trying to break up the fight. Also, right now, a Hueytown High School student is facing charges connecting to a shooting outside a restaurant after a Friday night football game. The shooting happened around 10:45 Friday night at the McDonald's on Allison Bonnet Memorial Drive. Now, the teenager is charged with first-degree assault. Police say he shot actually another teenager twice. That teen is at UAB this morning and is expected to be okay. New this morning, Baltimore police continue to investigate a shooting that injured 8 people. Police say 6 men, including a 3-year-old girl and her father, was among those shot. Now, police say at least a dozen shots were fired. They also believe this shooting is a retaliation to a Labor Day weekend shooting that killed 1 man and injured 2 women. The 8 people shot are expected to be okay.
No justice! No peace!
Developing now, that's the sound of a protest going on in New Orleans all over a statue of Andrew Jackson. A group called Take Him Down NOLA wants that statue gone. 7 people have been arrested and are facing several charges, including disturbing the peace, attempting to cross a police barricade, and charges of waving around a box cutter. Here's what one person says about the controversy with that statue.
You just can't come out here with a lynch mob and expect to tear down a statue that's, part of national history.
Former Ku Klux Klan member and Senate candidate David Duke was at the protest. The city has authorized the removal of several Confederate monuments, but no action has been taken just yet. Tomorrow is a big day in campaign 2016. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will be in their first presidential debate. CBS's Chris Van Cleve shows us how the candidates are preparing.
Mr. Trump, how's debate prep going right now?
Well, I'm here with
Just 48 hours before the first head-to-head debate with Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump is sticking to the campaign trail after a big endorsement from Senator Ted Cruz, Trump's former Republican rival, who once called him a sniveling coward.
This man is a pathological liar.
Clinton scored her own big endorsements. The New York Times today urged the country to put her to work while calling Trump the worst nominee put forward by a major party in modern American history. And in the battleground state of Ohio, the Cincinnati Enquirer broke with a nearly century-long tradition of endorsing Republicans to throw its weight behind Clinton. The candidate spent her third day holed up with her top advisors preparing for Monday's debate. Clinton's longtime aide Philippe Reines plays the role of Trump in mock debates.
I think she tends to really rise to the occasion, and it will be a real contrast in visions.
Clinton's running mate Tim Kaine.
Donald Trump was a good performer, and he was a good performer in debate, so I'm sure he's going to deliver a good performance.
Trump has said he doesn't want to over-prepare.
I mean, I've seen people do so much prep work that when they get out there, they can't speak.
Instead, using this time to attack Clinton before the debate.
Well, they say she's been practicing for the debate. Some people think she's sleeping.
Well, the Clinton campaign is hoping to use the debate as the start of a big campaign push. CBS 42 is tracking the latest developments in campaign 2016, and we'll be here to bring you complete coverage of tomorrow's debate. Well, your time right now, it's 5:08. Still ahead, Snapchat is getting in the sunglass business. Ahead, a cool look at new glasses some people already have. But next, today is a great day to read a comic book. We'll explain why right after the break. Nate?
We're tracking another day with some scorching heat around central Alabama, but a cold front just to our west going to provide some relief. We'll tell you when the CBS 42 Morning News continues.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back, everybody. A beautiful shot downtown Birmingham this morning. We do have a little bit of cloud cover outside, so it's not totally clear this morning, but still not a bad way to start your Sunday. A little bit on the mild side, too. 74 degrees. Winds are calm. The dew points are relatively low in the low 60s, and that's how it's going to be for today. Another very warm and very dry day. You see temperatures will rise back into the lower 90s by this afternoon, and I think a pretty good bet to see 94 or 95 degrees this afternoon in a lot of spots. Yesterday, we hit 98 degrees in Birmingham. Just very, very warm, and we added that mark to the calendar, 98. This is the 21st day. Yesterday was the 21st day that we hit 90 degrees or above for an afternoon high in September. Looks like we're going to make it 22 for today, but there is some change on the way. We're going to be mostly dry today with just a few clouds around, maybe a scattered shower, but there is a cold front to our west that's going to be moving in over the next 24 hours. By tomorrow, I think this cold front gives us a decent chance for some showers, but after the front passes, that's when weather really starts to change. We will see much cooler, drier air move in, and we're talking temperatures that are about 10 to 15 degrees cooler for the upcoming work week than what we've had to experience here recently. So a nice change. We'll discuss it all in the Storm Track 7-day forecast in a few minutes. You saw the commercial. If you always wanted to go to space, we have some good news for you. You can go do that without leaving Birmingham. The Space USA exhibit is going on right now at the BJCC. It's a traveling exhibit and indoor astronaut park. You can experience what it's like to go through astronaut training and enjoy lots of fun space activities. And the Space USA continues today at the Civic Center Exhibition Hall. You know, I've even been told once or twice to go to space, so I don't know what that means, but maybe I might have to try that out.
I think you should pop over there, Nate.
Yeah.
It's right up your alley.
It really is. As long as I can go upside down and go 0G, we're all right. I like that.
All right, that's really cool. Well, speaking of the weekend, there's a whole lot going on. It's actually the last day of the weekend. Got to get ready for Monday, right? But that still means there's a lot going on around the city. And as a matter of fact, one event yesterday was all about bringing music to West Birmingham. Take a listen. A little sample for you there. That was the annual function at Tuxedo Junction. The 31st festival was yesterday at Erskine Hawkins Park in Ensley. It celebrates Birmingham's rich musical history. The day-long festival featured performances by gospel, jazz, and blues acts and draws in money for the Ensley community. New this morning, break out your favorite comics because it's National Comic Book Day. According to research, the first comic was The Adventures of Obadiah Oldbuck, published in hardcover in the U.S. in 1842. Wow. Now, the first real comic book, as we know it, is believed to be Famous Funnies. A lot of you guys remember that, right? Published in the U.S. in 1933. Celebrate by reading your favorite comic book today and using the hashtag National Comic Book Day on social media. A lot of fun there. Well, in consumer news this morning, McDonald's is testing out Happy Meals for breakfast, and Uber is making a little change in their security. Here's a look at your top consumer stories in today's Money Watch.
Investors will see if U.S. markets can rebound after losses last week. On Friday, the Dow fell 131 points while the Nasdaq dropped 33. New York's Attorney General announced a settlement with Trump Hotel Collection. It's calling for the company to pay $50,000 in penalties after payment breaches exposed more than 70,000 credit cards belonging to customers. Several of its properties, including some in New York and Miami, are affected. The Attorney General says THC failed to inform customers of the hack in a timely manner. In a statement to CBS, the company says safeguarding customers' data is a top priority, and they'll continue taking actions to do so. And Uber has ruled out a new security feature requiring drivers to confirm their identities with a selfie before each shift. Uber says it's aimed at instilling more confidence in passengers and preventing fraud on a driver's account. And McDonald's is testing kids' Happy Meals for breakfast in Oklahoma. The fast food chain will feature either 2 McGriddles or an egg and cheese McMuffin without the bacon or butter in the meals. If the product launches nationally, it will be the first new entree for the Happy Meal in more than 30 years. And that's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
Also in consumer news, Snapchat is making sunglasses. Listen to this. Here's a look at the Snapchat Spectacles. That's what they're called. The company's CEO has presented them to a small group of people. Now, the glasses come with a camera that can record 10-second videos when you tap a button near the hinge where the glass meets the frame. Now, the videos capture footage that mimics our own vision. Pretty cool, right? Of course, the glasses work with smartphones, so you can easily share your cool videos online. All right. Well, losing your bag at the airport is never good news, but that pain could soon become a thing of the past. Chris Van Cleve gives us a look at new digital bag tracking that some of the biggest airlines are hoping will work.
The rate airlines mishandle bags, meaning they were lost, late, or damaged, is on the decline. But around 1 in every 300 passengers will have it happen to them. On this day, that passenger was Ron Mullenix.
Ron, that feeling when you and your wife are standing at the baggage carousel and everything stops and you're still a bag short.
Yeah, you're disappointed, but we know it happens.
Delta Airlines is spending $50 million to try to make that happen a lot less often. Installing a baggage system that puts a tag with a small radio frequency identification chip, or RFID, on a piece of luggage instead of a barcode. That should allow near real-time tracking of a suitcase as it winds its way through an airport's baggage handling system and is loaded onto or off of an airplane. American alerts flyers when their bags have been put on or taken off a flight. Alaska Airlines is running a test program to see if these digital baggage tags work better than the ink and paper barcodes that can smudge and wrinkle. Henry Hartevelt is an airline industry analyst.
Every time an airline loses a suitcase and can't get it delivered to you at the baggage claim, it costs them about $100 to bring it to your home or office or hotel. So that's a big expense that the airline would like to avoid.
Delta's new luggage system will go online at 84 airports across the U.S. in the coming months. The airline believes it will reduce lost and late luggage by 10%. That's on the order of about 20,000 bags a year. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, New York.
Happening today, if you love being outside and playing Pokemon Go, the Birmingham Zoo has the perfect event for you. Today's event is called Peekazoo at the Birmingham Zoo. It's from 4 to 7 this evening, and you can enjoy 3 hours of playing Pokemon Go and using the zoo's 29 Pokestops. There will also be a special Poke Express train ride for just $1. It costs $5 to get in. A whole lot of fun there. Well, in San Francisco, we all know they're known actually for having the most crooked street in America. But the city is also home to a skyscraper that is leaning and it's also sinking. John Blackstone brings us a look at the building in a story that's all new this morning.
It isn't obvious to the naked eye, of course, but the 58-story Millennium Tower is leaning 6 inches to the northwest, and it's been sinking, so far by 16 inches. It's just one of the new skyscrapers that have risen above San Francisco in the past decade, and it's raising questions about the others.
I have a growing set of concerns.
Aaron Peskin on San Francisco's Board of Supervisors held a hearing this week to determine what went wrong with the Millennium Tower and what it means for other new skyscrapers.
Their answer today when I asked that question was an honest answer. We don't know.
One issue, a 2009 letter that shows city inspectors knew the building was sinking and leaning before it was occupied.
I do not recall exactly what stemmed me to, or what precipitated my writing of that letter.
Do you ever recall seeing any similar kind of a letter ever being written by the department saying it's come to our attention that your building is sinking faster than expected and tilting? And
not in my recollection.
Although both city inspectors and the developer knew the building was sinking, it was not disclosed to buyers of the $1 million-plus condominiums. Yvette Davis represents the homeowners.
My testimony originally said that we hope all those who are called will come to participate in the spirit of cooperation and truthfulness. I'm sorry to say what I heard today was a lot of forgetfulness.
San Francisco's mayor is creating a task force to study the city's high-rise building codes. The Millennium Tower and other new skyscrapers here are largely built on land that was once underwater, part of San Francisco Bay. It was filled in more than a century ago, but it's the kind of land that can be particularly unstable in an earthquake. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
The city of Irondale is remembering its history with the Whistle Stop Festival, the 25th anniversary. It happened yesterday, but we want you to take a look at some of the fun that went on there. There were more than 130 vendors. About 7,000 people came out to enjoy arts, crafts, and the city's history.
Where Irondale all comes together and we open up and say, hey, this is who we are. We're a really unique place to come live and work.
Organizers say they look forward to many more successful festivals in the future. All right, well, your time right now, it is 5:21. Next up, the headlines you need to know this morning, including Ted Cruz's decision to support Donald Trump and why he's defending the announcement. We're watching CBS 42 Morning News. We'll be right back after the break.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to take a look at your headlines this Sunday morning. First, we're going to go to this story. Ted Cruz is defending his decision to finally support Donald Trump. He says this campaign is not the typical election. We'll have continuing coverage next half hour. And to this, attorneys in the Ross Harris trial say they're close to seating a jury to decide the case. Everyone is set to be back in court October 3rd. Harris is accused of leaving his toddler son to die in a hot SUV. And lastly, the brand new National Museum of African American History and Culture is officially open in Washington, D.C. President Obama was on hand during yesterday's dedication, and one artwork in the collection comes from right here in Alabama.
Very good.
16th Street Baptist Church. They have a great display there in Washington, D.C., one of many.
There you go.
Absolutely. So, Nate, let's look. The weather, obviously, we're rounding out the weekend. People are getting ready for the week, and it's fall, but you've been saying those hot temperatures?
They're going to go bye-bye.
Going bye-bye.
They're going bye-bye. We do have to, one more day. One more day of some really hot stuff, and then we see things change. And it's going to be a fantastic change, if I do say so myself. Let's take a look at downtown Birmingham. Gorgeous shot this morning. Temperatures are mild in some spots. A mostly clear sky, but there are some clouds around. 74 right now in Birmingham, 70 in Anniston, 68 now in Tuscaloosa. Just a little breath of wind out there out of the east and northeast, 3-5 miles per hour. A nice morning. Temperatures will rise back into the middle and low 90s for this afternoon. 93s by 2 to 4 o'clock. I do think that some spots will hit 95 to 96 this afternoon, and that'll continue the streak of 90-degree days we've had so far in September. Back in 2009, We had 23 days of 90 degrees. Today will mark 22 days. It's going to be iffy whether or not we get to that point on Monday because we've got a cold front. This front is going to make its way through the deep south and into southeast or into central Alabama. Dry and hot for today, but on the backside of this front, it's some much cooler and dry air. And when I say cooler, I'm talking 10 to 15 degree difference between the highs that we've experienced the last several days and what you can experience for next week. So watch as the front moves very slowly. Today, nothing doing, not a whole lot of rain chance. But by 1 to 2 o'clock, I think right before the front gets here, you can see the moisture increase and some showers pop up. A decent chance of rain tomorrow, 30 to 40%. Then the front moves through Monday night into early Tuesday, and that's when you really start to feel the change. Temperatures will drop like a rock on early Tuesday morning, numbers in the 50s to start off Tuesday. But for today, we're going to see 90s once again, 94s, 95s, 96s for this afternoon. Back into the low 70s and upper 60s for Monday morning. Kind of warm, kind of humid. Then you see the showers around for Monday afternoon into Monday evening. The front will move through by Monday night late, and the temperatures will start to drop. Already Tuesday morning, very early, 61 in Coleman. Temperatures in the 60s in the north. I expect numbers to be in the 50s for morning lows once we get past Tuesday. You see, there you go. Tuesday afternoon, 81 degrees, 82 on Wednesday. We kind of flip-flop between 81 and 82, but look at those morning lows. Very, very comfortable. Numbers in the 50s. Finally, fall has arrived. And I'm not going to say it's going to stick around because we might see temperatures jump back up as we start October, but still a very nice fall-like forecast right there, I think.
All right. Looks good, Nate. Thank you so much. Well, your time right now, it is 5:28. A man is laid to rest after being shot by police in Oklahoma. Coming up, the services for Terrence Crutcher. We have much more right after the break here on CBS 42 Morning News.
Yeah. That's okay. That's fine. My bad on that one. That's okay. Well, I know. I understand.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to you all. For those of you that are just joining us, welcome. And for those of you that have been with us the last half hour, welcome back. Yeah. I'm Alex Finney. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News, and Nate Harrington is here today. Hey, Nate.
Hey, how's it going?
Love having you. Is here to give us a look at your weekend forecast Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the weekend will look very similar. Today and tomorrow, basically carbon copy days of each other. 90s once again this afternoon. So what else is new? We've seen a bunch of days in the 90s in September. We're going to continue that streak for today. It is a little bit on the mild side in Birmingham at 74, really everywhere. We shouldn't be this warm for the late stages of September in the morning. We should be back in the low 60s. I think we see that next week. But upper 60s and low 70s for morning lows right now. 74, the mild spot in Birmingham. Looking at the satellite and radar picture, no rain on the radar, but we do have some clouds to look at, and these clouds will scour out by later this morning into the afternoon. I think we see a mostly sunny sky with just a few puffy white cumulus clouds this afternoon. No rain chances to speak of either. Some clouds around, but those will clear out, like we said, right before lunchtime. I think a mostly sunny sky, and that's when temperatures really start to rise back into the upper 80s and low 90s by lunchtime, and then temperatures only get warmer after that. We're expecting high temperatures to rise into the middle 90s again. Yesterday in Birmingham, we hit 98 degrees. I'm not going to say we're going to do that again, but 95 to 96, definitely not out of the realm of possibility. But temperatures will start to drop as a cold front moves through next week. We're going to tell you when that happens and if we see any rain chances the next 7 days coming up in that Storm Track 7-day forecast in a little bit. Alex, over to you.
Thank you, Nate. Developing now, the city of Tulsa is gathering to remember Terrence Crutcher. He was shot and killed last week by Officer Betty Shelby. Hundreds gathered for his funeral yesterday, and the service took place at Antioch Baptist Church in the city. Now, a private wake is also planned. But during the service yesterday, many sang and read from the gospel and spoke about Crutcher's legacy.
You know, when they encountered Terrence, they didn't know. They didn't know who he was. They didn't know he had a family that loved him. They didn't know he had a community that loved him. They didn't know that he loved singing gospel.
Following the shooting, there have been several peaceful rallies and protests throughout Tulsa. New this morning, the teenager at the center of a police-involved shooting in Columbus, Ohio, is getting a final farewell. Hundreds filled the church for 13-year-old Tyree King's funeral. Valencia Wicker shows us how the community is now coming together.
The funeral was held here at First Church of God. It was a service not just for those who knew Tyree King, but also for a community now heartbroken and searching for solutions. Hundreds attended.
It's just hard. It's unreal to me.
Young.
Me and Tyree was close friends. He used to stay out at my house a lot. We played basketball together.
Older.
It's hard for everybody, even me. I'm not a family member, but it just hurts me too.
Those who knew him and beyond.
One thing I do remember about him is his smile, and he always used to tell me to stay out of trouble and just focus on my work in basketball.
13-year-old Tyree King was shot and killed by Columbus police officer Brian Mason. Officers say they were responding to a call for an armed robbery that quickly turned into a deadly scene.
Personally, I took it bad because I knew him a lot more than other people.
Saturday, family and friends said their final goodbye.
I froze as soon as I saw him in that casket.
And I just hope and pray that these things will hurry up and stop.
King was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Gardens at a private ceremony. In Columbus, Valencia Wicker, 10 TV News.
Police continue to investigate King's death and what led police to shooting him. Right now, a deadly car crash is being investigated right outside of Tuscaloosa. It happened on Ed Stevens Road, 9 miles north of the city. Now, the man was killed when his car went off the road and hit several trees. Police say he was not wearing a seatbelt and was partially ejected. State troopers are investigating that accident. New this morning, royalty is coming to Canada. The British royal couple are kicking off their 8-day visit to Canada. Prince William and the Duchess of Cambridge landed at a military base near Vancouver yesterday. Much of the spotlight is on their kids and Prince George and Princess Charlotte. So cute, right? This is the first overseas trip for the 16-month-old princess. The royal family is set to stop by about 30 places in British Columbia while they're there. Well, just a day before the debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Chelsea Clinton is getting out and supporting her mother. She is talking about issues such as the opioid crisis and energy sector jobs in her visit to University of Pittsburgh in Johnstown. Chelsea outlined some of the things her mom thinks need to be done to address these issues.
One, invest in more prevention programs, particularly in partnership with high schools, with colleges, with big employers. Two, provide funding to clinics and to hospitals so that anyone and everyone who wants treatment can get treatment.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will debate tomorrow at Hofstra University. Stay with CBS 42 for continuing coverage. Also in campaign 2016, Senator Ted Cruz is defending his decision to endorse Donald Trump. He's now telling people what changed his mind. Listen to this. Cruz says this election is not a typical election and it was a tough decision to finally decide to endorse Donald Trump. Yesterday, Cruz was in Austin, Texas, and here's more of what he told the crowd about his decision.
Look, I think in every election, each of us has to assess the candidates and assess the candidates, who's going to defend freedom, who's going to defend the Constitution.
Right.
And, yesterday I wrote a long op-ed.
You did.
Laying out the reasons for announcing that in November I'm going to vote for Donald.
Donald Trump now says he is, quote, greatly honored that Cruz is supporting him. Happening today, Israel's prime minister will meet with both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. The meetings will take place in New York City. The prime minister met with President Obama on Wednesday in what was likely their last face-to-face consultation. The relationship between the leaders has been contentious at times, but they celebrated a long-term $38 billion aid package. Attorneys in the Ross Harris trial say they're close to seating a jury to decide the case. Harris is a Tuscaloosa native accused of leaving his toddler in a hot SUV. His son, Cooper, died in that hot vehicle. A judge has scheduled attorneys to be back in court on October 3rd to narrow down a final jury pool. New this morning, Chicago police are investigating a deadly scene after a man was shot in the head. It happened yesterday after a man got into a fight with another man on a bike. The man's sister says after the shooting, the man tried to run away. Police now have that shooter in custody. New this morning, 3 lawmakers in Tennessee are actively pushing for equal pay in the volunteer state. Representative John Ray Clemens, Senator Sarah Kyle, and Senate nominee Aaron Coleman are heading the proposal. Clemens says, according to research, women who make up 47% of the workforce but are still getting paid less than men.
Let's be clear. This wage disparity hurts Tennessean families. Every dollar that a woman is not able to earn is a dollar that doesn't go towards groceries, children's shoes, uniforms, and the other needs of families.
Clemens closed out the conference by saying no one should be making less because of their gender. Well, history is being made in Washington, D.C. as the National Museum of African American History and Culture opens its doors. With the ringing of the Freedom Bell, President Obama officially dedicated the museum. Dignitaries and celebrities helped to celebrate the historic occasion. Former President George W. Bush signed legislation for the construction of that museum in 2003.
This museum tells the truth that a country founded on the promise of liberty held millions in chains, that the price of our union was America's original sin.
The museum showcases 4 centuries of Black history with nearly 3,000 artifacts. Wonderful. Well, your time right now, it is 5:40. Cars go up in flames in Florida after the break. The latest on the investigation after a sheriff's cruiser is also burned. You're watching CBS 42. Over to you, Nate.
Thank you very much. More More clouds, more heat, and just a few showers around for this afternoon, but we're expecting a big cool down next week. We'll give you all the details when the CBS 42 Morning News continues.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
And welcome back. A little bit of cloud cover this morning, but a mostly clear sky for central Alabama and mostly clear over Birmingham right now. Temperatures are in the mid-70s, very sticky, very warm outside. The dew points aren't too high with numbers in the mid-60s, so the humidity isn't too crazy, but it's still on the sticky side out there early this morning. Sunrise right around 6:38. We'll finally start to see some sunshine this afternoon, and temperatures rise back into the low and mid-90s once again. Would not be surprised if I saw 95s or 96s for this afternoon. Yesterday in Birmingham, we hit 98 degrees, and we added that temperature to our map of September that's been filled with 90-degree days. 21 of them so far, to be exact, out of 24, and I think today we add to that number with highs once again in the 90s, but I think by Monday we'll be hard-pressed to get to 90 because of a cold front. Now, the front won't move through until late on Monday, early on Tuesday, but the clouds and the rainfall chances that we'll have on Monday, I think will start to cool things down just a little bit. And then once we get past that, some cooler, drier air on the backside of that front means nice fall-like conditions for us next week. Can't wait for that. We'll talk more about that in the Storm Track 7-day forecast. All right, heading over to the Midwest. Iowa's governor says his state is doing everything it can to prepare for expected flooding. Governor Terry Branstad held a roundtable meeting with emergency crews yesterday and toured some of the areas in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That's where a river is expected to crest at 24 feet on Monday and possibly inundate some areas. Hundreds of homes and businesses have been advised to evacuate, while volunteers are working overtime, putting up sandbags along the Cedar River. And it's that cold front that we looked at that has caused so much rain in the Midwest the last several days. Hasn't moved too much, and this is that time of year where they see a lot of flooding. So this isn't unexpected, but just more headaches for them.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
not a good thing. Well, we're going to turn our attention to this. New this morning, people in Florida are investigating after several sheriff's vehicles have been set on fire. CBS's Lauren Koren brings us new developments in the investigation.
Crime scene tape blocked off the back lot of AMCO transmissions as authorities figure out who set fire to 2 cars, including a Volusia County Sheriff's Patrol unit around 4 this morning. Deputies taking these pictures just minutes after the fire.
Someone was walking by the area and they saw flames.
Oh my God, it is the sheriff's car.
The car
The
is
sheriff's
on
car is
fire?
on fire. Yes, I'm gonna back up because I don't want it to blow up.
As the caller stayed on the phone with 911, firefighters quickly arrived to put out the flames.
Oh yeah, it's getting bad now.
This morning, investigators took pictures of the damage and loaded up the torched cars onto tow trucks. Authorities say they found a gas can nearby and believe not only was this act arson, but an act that was meant for them.
Do you have some information that we can't share at this moment that says that it was targeted to the law enforcement?
Both cars a total loss, a third car drenched in gasoline but never set on fire. AMCO says it does not have security cameras but is working with law enforcement, stating in part, "We are sorry to hear that a number of vehicles were damaged while in the possession of the local AMCO Repair Center in Daytona Beach. AMCO of Daytona Beach will certainly reach out to any affected customers for assistance." In Daytona Beach, Lauren Korn, News 6.
An event in Coleman County is celebrating veterans and their families. Rockin' America's Heroes kicked off at Camp Liberty, I should say, in Battleground yesterday. It was a lunch party right there, and you can see it there. The nonprofit organization is dedicated to helping veterans successfully reintegrate at home. Now, it featured food, vendors, a zip line, and obstacle course. The initiative hopes to make it an annual event. Well, in this morning's health news, there are new warnings about painkillers and new developments in the fight against Zika. Weijia Jiang has some of the week's top health stories.
The CDC reports aggressive aerial spraying has likely helped interrupt local transmission of the Zika virus in Wynwood, Florida. No new cases of locally transmitted Zika have been reported there since early August. The government recommends pregnant women and partners continue to avoid mosquito bites. Pediatricians are urging parents and doctors to stop prescribing codeine to kids. The American Academy of Pediatrics has found evidence linking the drug to deadly breathing reactions. Doctors say children metabolize the drug faster than adults and may experience dangerous reactions. And giving babies eggs and peanuts at an early age may lower their chances of developing food allergies. A study in JAMA finds that the risk of allergies is linked to when allergic foods are introduced. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, New York.
We have an important update if you're planning on going to the Lauryn Hill concert today in Tuscaloosa. We've learned that the concert has been canceled, and it's because of a change in the singer's tour schedule. Now, if you bought a ticket, refunds are available where you first bought that ticket. Also, tickets purchased through Ticketmaster, online or by phone, will automatically be refunded. Happening today, the Magic City AIDS Walk will be kicking off this afternoon at Railroad Park. It starts at 4:30 this afternoon, and the walk is the longest running walk in Alabama. Donations are encouraged, and all money raised goes to support free services in the community. Well, your time right now, it's 5:49. There are new developments in the Washington State Mall shooting. Still to come up, actually, I should say, who is now in custody, and the new details we're learning about the shooting this morning. Plus,
Auburn did not score a touchdown last night against LSU, so how do they win the game? We're going to find out coming up in sports.
Yeah, 42 Morning News. We'll be right back.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Alabama and Auburn fans are waking up pretty happy this morning after winning yesterday. The CBS 42 sports team joins us now with a look at the highlights from yesterday's games.
A wild night on the Plains only follows a wild night in Jordan-Hare Stadium. We said coming into this game, weird things happen when Auburn and LSU meet for football games. Add this one to the list of bizarre endings as the Auburn Tigers get their first SEC win of the year over number 18 LSU, 18-13 in a game where Auburn did not score a touchdown. But yet they still won the game, and that's because of Daniel Carlson. Not that Auburn didn't have opportunities to score. They made it to the red zone 6 times. They ended up scoring 5 or 6 times, all field goals. They could not punch it in. But when you got a guy like Daniel Carlson who's almost automatic from anywhere on the field, it's a really nice safety blanket to have if you're the Auburn Tigers.
I don't know if I have. I don't think I ever have. So, that was new. I definitely was busy today, but it was a lot of fun. And the most important thing is we come out with a win. It doesn't mean anything if we don't come out with a win. So, I'm really glad we were able to hang on.
Now, the Auburn Tigers had to get a thrilling victory right at the end. Alabama had no trouble with Kent State. For more, we bring in CBS 42 Scott Griffin in Tuscaloosa. Scott.
Thanks a lot, Chris. That's right. They had to get young guys to play in this football game and to step up. You knew that was going to happen at a game like Kent State, but you didn't know that it would come this way, like Damian Harris going out with an ankle sprain. So guys like Joshua Jacobs and B.J. Emmons had to come on board and do well. Jacobs, for instance, 97 yards rushing. He raised a lot of eyebrows in the locker room after the game.
I mean, it's bad when anyone goes down on our team, regardless of the position. But, it's just you have to go to the next guy that's up and, tell him that we got his back and we keep rolling.
It's huge to see from a true freshman running back, because, like I said, you never know when someone's going to go down. You just got to be ready to play. And to see that from a true freshman is awesome. What that means is, guys, he's matured, he's buying into the program, and that's what we need.
I've been practicing hard all week for it, all summer for it, and it all started with the O-line and the quarterback, and I just went and did my job.
Cam's a big guy that's got great hands and great range as a ball catcher, and certainly somebody that we feel like can be very productive for us.
And if you take out Jalen Hurts, who's a true freshman, and his numbers out from the offense today, you had 4 younger guys step up in big ways. Joshua Jacobs, B.J. Emmons, 2 true freshmen, Trayvon Diggs, a true freshman, and then Cam Simmons, a veteran, but hasn't played a lot. 225 yards from those 4 guys alone. So Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban have to be happy moving forward that backups performed well in this game against Kent State. Chris?
Thank you, Scott. And we'll wrap up all of this as Auburn and Alabama big winners on this Saturday coming up tonight on the CBS 42 News at 10.
All right, looking good. Thank you, guys. Well, Nate, you know what? It's Sunday. We're rounding out the weekend, starting the work week, and it's fall. I know a lot of people are happy about that.
It is. The calendar says fall.
Right.
The temperatures really haven't said fall.
Tell a different story.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I think we change that next week. We've been talking about a cold front and anticipating this thing to come through for the last several days, and now it's finally on our doorstep. 69 degrees, Tuscaloosa, Anniston. Nice start to the morning. 73 in Birmingham. A calm wind, just a little breath of wind in Tuscaloosa. It is a little mild and a little sticky outside to start the day. Temperatures in the 80s for the next several hours. Then by lunchtime, I think we're squarely in the 90s. Middle and low 90s for afternoon highs today. 94s and 95s are in play once again this afternoon. 98 yesterday. All dry throughout the deep south. We do have a few showers down in South Georgia. Some clouds moving in from the Atlantic, kind of bisecting Georgia and Alabama right now. But it's this cold front that's moving through the Midwest that we're anticipating to move through tomorrow. Dry and hot, though, for today. But you see the showers basically from the Great Lakes states, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all the way down to Texas. This line of showers has moved in, and this will slowly creep this way. Futurecast shows a dry day for us today. Maybe, and I say maybe, a couple of showers to our south. Then by tomorrow, note the time, Monday at 2 o'clock, we start to see a few showers pop up before the front gets here. Then when the front finally does arrive, I think we'll see a couple of showers, but nothing widespread, nothing severe, maybe a couple of thunderstorms, and that's it. By Monday night into early Tuesday, that front sags south, and we welcome in the very cool, dry air that's behind this front. And we're talking a big departure from where we've been as far as afternoon highs go. Sunday at 4 o'clock, we're going to see temperatures back in the mid-90s once again. We drop down to the 80s, into the 70s by early on Monday morning. Monday afternoon, that's our transition day. A few showers around for Monday. The afternoon hours, 3, 4, 5 o'clock before the front gets here. Then the front arrives by 9 to 10. We'll see a few more showers as the front moves through, and then temperatures really start to drop. 60 degrees in Coleman by 3 o'clock on Tuesday morning. We're going to see numbers in the 50s next week. Area-wide, everyone seeing very cool starts to their days. Tuesday, that's the day that we start the fall transition. Numbers in the low 80s for afternoon highs, 50s for morning lows, and the humidity will be very, very low. The only chance of rain we'll have is on Monday. Not everyone will see a shower, but I think a decent amount of folks will at least get a chance for some rain because we've got fall-like conditions headed our way once again through next week. Alex, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Nate. Well, your time right now, it is 5:58. Heavy rain leads to flooding and evacuations in the Midwest. Still ahead, how people in Iowa are coming together to lend a hand to their neighbors. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News, a live look over Birmingham as we wake you up on this Sunday morning. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Alex Finney. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News.
Yes, you are.
Yes, absolutely. Alongside of me is Storm Track meteorologist Nate Harrington, who's here to give us a rundown of your forecast.
Yeah, that's exactly right. More warmth for this afternoon. Temperatures starting off warm for this morning. Numbers in the upper 60s and low 70s, 73 Birmingham and Alexander City. And then everybody else in the upper 60s, 67, 68s, and 69s to start off your Sunday. A little bit of cloud cover, but these are all high clouds, not really bothering us too much. They don't have any rain with them either, so We're going to stay dry once again. Need some rain, and we've got one chance of it for the next few days, and it's going to be on Monday. Temperatures increase this afternoon. A few clouds around for the lunchtime hour, upper 80s for afternoon highs, but temperatures are really going to start to shoot up this afternoon. Once again, numbers in the middle 90s, 95s, 96s definitely in play for afternoon highs today. After yesterday, we had 98 degrees. We'll have a better idea of your forecasts for next week coming up, and I think we've got some cooler air to talk about. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Alex, over to you.
Thank you, Nate. Breaking overnight, authorities say this man, 20-year-old Arjun Chatan, is now in custody after a deadly shooting at a Washington State mall. He was arrested following a massive search. Chatan is believed to have shot 4 women and a man to death at the Cascade Mall in Burlington, this about 60 miles north of Seattle. Authorities say they arrested Chatan without incident and described him as being zombie-like. Brooke Silabraga has the latest.
Police captured the suspect in Friday night's mass shooting at a Washington State mall. Investigators say they apprehended 20-year-old Arjun Chatan early Saturday evening in Oak Harbor, about 30 miles from the scene.
I saw an individual walking northbound on the sidewalk, and I instantly recognized that that is the person I had just viewed on my computer. I did an abrupt U-turn, hit my lights, pulled my gun, and myself and Reserve Deputy Eric Grombaugh took the individual into custody.
At the Women's Macy's, 4 possible shots fired, unknown number of victims, law enforcement being advised.
4 women were shot dead in the makeup area at Macy's, and a man died later. Shoppers fled or hid in changing rooms and other stores.
It wasn't all at once. It was more like a shot, and then 2 seconds later, another shot.
Police say surveillance video shows the alleged shooter arriving at the mall unarmed, then entering Macy's 10 minutes later with a hunting-style rifle. The victims range in age from a teenager to senior citizens.
In our community, we suffered a devastating loss of 5 treasured members of our community who had done nothing more than what we all have done on any given day.
The FBI helped in the search for the suspect. Brooke Silva-Braga for CBS News, New York.
Police say Chatan immigrated from Turkey and had been arrested for simple assault last year. He's expected in court tomorrow. New this morning, 8 people are recovering after a shooting in Baltimore, Maryland Saturday night. Police say a 3-year-old girl and her father are among those hurt. Police say at least a dozen shots were fired. They believe 3 suspects were involved, and it may be related to a Labor Day weekend shooting that left 1 man dead and 2 women hurt. Police say all 8 victims are expected to be okay. New this morning, Anniston police say a man turned himself in after shooting another man to death. Police say 32-year-old Carl Griffin is now charged with murder in the shooting death of 26-year-old Vincent Robinson. Police say the 2 men were arguing in a parking lot when Robinson was shot. We're going to move to this story. New this morning, a car crash claims the life of a Vance man. It happened on Ed Stevens Road, 9 miles north of Tuscaloosa. The victim died after his car left the roadway and struck several trees. Police say he was not wearing a seatbelt and was partially ejected. State troopers are investigating that accident. Continuing coverage this morning, Iowa's governor says his state is doing everything to prepare for expected flooding. Governor Terry Branstad has held a roundtable meeting with emergency officials on Saturday. He also toured areas in Cedar Rapids. Now, the Cedar River is expected to crest at 24 feet tomorrow, meaning hundreds of homes and businesses had to evacuate as soon as possible. Officials say the turnout of volunteers ready to help has been overwhelming already.
We have a great community. We had a lot of people come out, help out people. We're still having people come in and volunteer to clean other people's houses. They may not even know them.
Flooding is threatening more than 24 counties in Iowa and Wisconsin. The 2 states were hit by heavy rain last week. New this morning, hundreds attended a funeral for a teenager shot to death by police in Ohio. 13-year-old Tyree King died after Columbus police said he ran from them while they investigated an armed robbery. Officer Brian Mason shot King after King pulled out a BB gun that looked like a real gun. Friends say they're remembering him and encouraging nature.
One thing I do remember about him is
his smile, and he always used to tell me to stay out of trouble and just focus on my work in basketball.
Evidence from the shooting investigation will be presented to a grand jury to determine if Officer Mason's actions were justified or if he should be charged. King's family is calling for an independent investigation. New this morning, fire breaks out at Toomer's Corner after Auburn's victory over LSU last night. Take a look at that intersection there. As is tradition, Auburn fans celebrated the win by rolling the Toomer's Oaks. But surveillance video caught someone apparently lighting the toilet paper on fire and walking away. The Auburn Fire Department tells OANow.com actually, no one was hurt in that fire and the tree is still intact. And speaking of Auburn, it was a wild finish on the Plains after Auburn lost, but was declared the winner after all just moments later. And the Tide continues to roll with a shutout over Kent State. CBS 42 Sports Director Chris Brees recaps the day.
I know Auburn fans are still loving the joy of that 2013 kick six against Alabama, but last night a completely different kind of kick six. And on the leg of Daniel Carlson, let's check out exactly how it unfolded against LSU. You knew Auburn had to score points on the Tiger defense to have a chance to win the game, but it was scoring points in a different way. Daniel Carlson was very busy in the first half, kicked that field goal to put Auburn up 3-0 early, but then LSU went right back on the next drive and took their first and only lead of the game, 7-3 on that touchdown drive. Then the rest of the half, it was all Carlson. Auburn would drive. They would have nice plays, 6, 7, 8-yard drives, but they would not be able to score. They'd get inside the 20, but then get stuffed. 2 more field goals for Carlson at the half, made it 9-7 at the break. Second half, same exact thing. Sean White had plenty of big plays, 230 yards passing. Kerryon Johnson was great out of the backfield, catching and running. Problem, though, got inside the red zone 6 times, and they could not get any touchdowns. Carlson, 3 more field goals in the second half. So Auburn goes up 18-13 on LSU. LSU has to find a way to come back and have a chance in the game, but that Auburn defensive line was the MVP besides Carlson. Lawson gets the sack there, Carl Lawson. Then LSU on the final drive. This play gets down to the 2-yard line, and LSU's supposed to have 1 second left after a review and a penalty. They think they get the snap off. Scrambling Danny Eatling completes a pass in the end zone for a touchdown. Everybody thinks LSU's won the football game, right? It's over. Les Miles wins. Gus Malzahn in serious trouble. But hold on. They go back and review it. Gus Malzahn adamant that the clock went to 0 and the ref said, Gus, you were right. Auburn gets the win, 18-13. They hold on to survive to get their first SEC win. They're 1-1 in conference play, and now anything can happen for Auburn, including that game at Alabama at the end of November. And the Crimson Tide, a little less drama for them. The only question with Kent State was, would they beat that spread of 43 points against Nick Saban's alma mater in Kent State? It did not take very long to realize that it was going to happen. First drive took all of 3 minutes. Zone read for Jalen Hurts. He goes in to score 20 yards out. They tied up 7-0 early and got up 14-0 quickly after that. Joshua Jacobs, running back freshman, played a lot because Damian Harris went down with a sprained ankle. This was his second touchdown at just the first quarter. It's 21-0 at the end of the first. Even Blake Barnett got into the game at quarterback, dumps this one off to O.J. Howard down the middle, 34 yards into the end zone. It's 34-0 Alabama, 41-0 at the break. And Mack Wilson, a freshman from Montgomery, is supposed to be a great linebacker, but Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban want him out of the backfield on offense. That's a touchdown from Jalen Hurts. Final score 48-0. Alabama easily over Kent State, which means they're going to go into SEC play once again against Kentucky at home. And Auburn can have a break against Louisiana Monroe before they go back to SEC play in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Well, your time right now, it is 6:11, and annual festival is coming back next weekend. After the break, all the details on the Alabama Butterbean Festival in Pinson. Nate?
Fantastic, and a fantastic start to your day. A lot of sunshine headed our way, just a few clouds outside this morning, and more warm temperatures. We'll tell you how hot it's going to get this afternoon when the CBS 42 News this morning continues.
watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back, everybody. A beautiful shot of what will be a very nice looking sunrise this morning out over Birmingham, looking toward the east. A few clouds outside, but really nothing to get too bummed out about. A nice day on the way. A little bit on the warm side, though. Temperatures now in the low 70s, and Birmingham 73, but a lot of folks starting off their day in the upper 60s for Sunday. Temperatures will rise this afternoon. Numbers in the low and middle 90s, 94, 95, 96 degrees, definitely in play for this afternoon's high temperatures. After yesterday, we hit 98 degrees in Birmingham. A handful of days have been very warm this month, and 21 to be exact have hit 90 or above. And I think that streak continues today. A little bit in doubt for tomorrow as a cold front moves in, but after that, it looks nice and cool as we continue September and go into the first days of October. The satellite and radar picture over the southeast is mainly dry. We are tracking a cold front that's moving right now through the Midwest. We've got rain all the way from Texas up through the Great Lakes states, Minnesota, also Wisconsin. And this front is going to continue to move this way over the next 24 hours. It'll impact our weather by Monday and really bring in a nice fall-like feel for us next week. More details on that in the Storm Track 7-day forecast. We'll send it over to Alex right now.
All right, thank you, Nate. Well, guys, it's almost that time of year again. The annual Alabama Butterbean Festival is next weekend, and here to tell us all about it is Executive Director of the festival, Ronnie Dixon. Ronnie, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And you know what, before Nate tossed to us, you were actually giving me a little bit of a history lesson here about the Butterbean Festival.
Yeah, this is our 11th year. It was started in order to restore the old Palmerdale Homestead Community Center. And the reason it was named Butterbean Festival is because during the Depression, the butter beans were the sustenance for the people in the Pinson Valley area.
Gotcha. And obviously this is not only, you know, a great event for people to go to because it will be fun, but it's free as well.
Yes.
And anyone's welcome, right?
We try to provide enough free entertainment that people can come and spend several hours. We have on Friday night this year Janet Paschal from the Bill Gaither series, and on Saturday Cottonmouth Creek, which is a regional bluegrass band. So we have 14 total hours of free music. All the parking is free. The admission is free. We have over 150 vendors that have everything from crafts to kettle corn. So of course you have to pay for some of those things, but we're excited about the number of people that we have this year.
Gotcha. And obviously through all of the fun, I know you were saying that this really helps the homestead community, and how people exactly, if you don't mind explaining, even though they're going there and they're able to have fun, but how they're able to learn the history about this festival. Do you guys have vendors set up for that as well?
We do. The Pinson Historical Society has a, I think it's a 40 by 40 tent that they set up with the artifacts, if you will, from the time of the Butterbean Festival beginning and back during the Depression. One of our local writers put out a book this year concerning the history of Pinson. He used to be the editor for the Birmingham News. Great book that covers everything from the present-day Butterbean Festival back to the Depression area.
And is he going to be at this event?
He'll be there at the Historical Society tent, and I'm sure they'll have some of their books for sale.
Perfect. Of course, if people have questions, that's the tent to go to. Now, obviously, I know that you guys were looking at video right now are going to have quite a turnout, I'm sure, 11th year here. But for people that are just learning about this event, want to go, how can they find out?
Butterbeanfestival.com has all the information that you need. You can call us at the Chamber of Commerce. It's 205-390-1952.
Perfect.
So we can get you all the information you need.
205-390-1952.
Right.
And you know what? For those of you that can't remember that phone number and all the information that Ronnie said, thank you so much. Very good information. We are going to have it on our website, WIAT.com, so you'll know all about the Butterbean Festival. Ronnie, thank you so much for being here. Pleasure having you. Everyone, we have so much more right after the break here on CBS 42 News. We'll be right back.
All right.
Homer Brown loves table tennis.
Doing good.
In fact, for the last 47 years, he's played in a U.S. Open tournament. So he's a little better than me.
Started really playing table tennis while I was in first year of college and really enjoyed doing that. Got a college team started and then took it from there to competing in tournaments around the country. Got to see the country because of the sport. So it's really been good to me.
So good, he's made the whole tournament thing a trend.
In 1969, I traveled across the country, went to my first U.S. Open National Championships. And at that time, I had so much fun. I said, you know, really, I got to commit myself to go to every U.S. Open Nationals. So at least I do play in one tournament every year. And right now I have 47 behind me and looking for 48 later on in this year.
18 years ago, that trend became a career.
Come on, baby. While I was working in the oil industry, Lillian, I had always thought about opening up America's first table tennis store in a mall because I thought it'd be so neat to actually be able to go into a mall and have a store where you could have a good time selling people things that they need for their house and getting them hooked on the sport of table tennis and, of course, other table sports too. And you know, I traveled a lot and was on the road, and I just thought it'd be kind of neat to go to a mall every day.
Now every day his dream is open in what he calls the Bumper Nets wing of the River Chase Galleria Mall in Hoover. 3 stores with over 100 things you can play and buy. If you want to get better at a game, he can help with that too.
Are you ready?
No.
All right, here we go. You can tell this is a pretty aerobic sport. Yeah. I'll tell you.
Yes!
That's it.
I
She
beat
got
him.
me.
The owner of Bumper Nets.
That's it. She got me.
I beat him in air hockey.
Yeah, you done
Yes.
good, Lillian.
But maybe not air hockey. He has other people for that.
We're not here just to sell people things, but we want them to actually get better. And then we also offer leagues too. We have table tennis leagues. We have a pinball league that meets every Tuesday night that actually starts September 13th. And they have a great time. In fact, we're the second largest venue for pinball in the U.S.
Several of the employees are professionals at the sports offered at Bumper Nets. That's what Brown says makes them so unique.
Customers can actually get some real good feedback and recommendations from us because we really care. I've always operated with the philosophy that if you really give good service and take care of the customer, that the sales will come naturally.
In Hoover, Lillian Lalo, CBS 42.
The preceding portion of the CBS 42 Morning News was sponsored by Bumper Nets. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
All right, hello everyone. We have about 35 minutes left here on CBS 42 Morning News, and Nate Harrington is going to give us a look at our Sunday forecast.
I think so, yeah. I think our Sunday forecast is going to look a lot like our Saturday forecast. Hot, in a word, yeah, absolutely. Very warm this afternoon, already warm this morning, and seeing a beautiful start to our day. Lots of sunshine, the clouds just adding to this shot. Very nice stuff. Lots of beautiful colors outside. 73 now in Birmingham. Nice starts in Tuscaloosa, Anniston. A little bit of wind out there. Temperatures in the upper 60s, a clear sky. A few clouds around this afternoon, but just mostly hot. 90s, middle 90s for most of us this afternoon. Some low 90s, but 94s and 95s are definitely a possibility for afternoon top temperatures. All dry right now. Storm track radar, the satellite picture. You see one little ribbon of cloud cover from central Georgia all the way through the central part of our state, but that's really not going to be too much of an issue. No rain there. All the rain, though, to our west associated with a cold front. This front will slowly move this way over the next 24 hours. By tomorrow afternoon, actually 36 hours, by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, that cold front will move in. Before that, dry and hot. But on the back side of that front is much cooler air. We're talking 10 to 15 degrees cooler than what we've had to deal with here recently, and that is a welcome change for sure as we round out September. So all dry for today. By Monday, I think the increase in clouds and a few showers before the front gets here. Note the time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then the front will slide south through Monday night into early Tuesday. A few more showers are possible there too. Maybe a thunderstorm I think most of us will stay dry with just a smattering of showers, just scattered showers. And then the front moves through and that cooler air rushes in. Temperatures in the 90s this afternoon. We'll be back in the low and middle 70s for some folks and upper 60s to start off Monday. Then the front moves in. A couple little showers pop up before the front gets here. Then the front slides through tomorrow night. We see a couple of showers and then things really get cool by early Tuesday morning, and that trend continues into next week. Highs on Tuesday in the low 80s. That continues Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it looks like we break that streak of 90-degree days tomorrow. We could get close, but I think the streak will come to an end at 22 days in September of 90 degrees or above. Alex, over to you.
Right. Thank you, Nate. Well, your time right now, it is 6:27. Protests continue across the U.S. after deadly officer-involved shootings last week. Still ahead, the latest cities taking a stand against police shootings. You're taking a live look at Hofstra University, the site of the first presidential debate on September 26th. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning to you all. I'm Alex Finney. I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. And thank you so much for watching CBS 42 Morning News. Here today to bring you your weather for this Sunday is Nate Harrington.
One time
Nate?
only.
No, never one time only. You'll be back again.
Yeah, Michael Smith's going to fill in for me tonight, so I appreciated him switching shifts with me. But we are talking about another warm day. Another warm day. Numbers back in the 90s. Starting off warm as well. 73 Birmingham, 71 Alexander City. Just way too warm for late September. But it looks like changes are coming. Numbers in the upper 60s for basically everybody else around central Alabama. A little ribbon of cloud cover this morning. No rain with this, but just a little bit of cloud cover to add to the beauty of that sunrise. Go out and check that out. It is absolutely gorgeous outside right now. Lots of beautiful colors, and temperatures will be rising along with the sun this morning into the afternoon hours. Numbers by noontime to 1 o'clock will be in the upper 80s and low 90s. Fully expect us to hit that 90-degree number and keep on going. Middle 90s expected for this afternoon. Looking at the big board, high temperatures, 94s, 95s, 96s, well in play once again for today. And that'll be the 22nd day in September that we hit 90 degrees. But I think we put a stop to that streak maybe by Monday, but for sure by Tuesday. We'll tell you all about a cold front that'll be moving through and a very fall-like forecast next week in your Storm Track 7-day forecast in a few minutes. Alex, over to you.
All right, thank you, Nate. Breaking overnight, protests against police shootings and police brutality continue to spread across the U.S. This group made its way through several streets in Oakland, California. Other protests have continued in New York and Atlanta, plus Charlotte, North Carolina, after a man is shot to death by police. Video of the Charlotte victim, Keith Lamont Scott, being shot has now been released, and Charlotte police made the decision to release the video yesterday afternoon after being asked repeatedly by Scott's family and protesters. Now, this that you see here is dash camera video captured by an arriving police officer. It shows officers surrounding Scott's car before he exits his SUV, and as he walks backwards there, you can see him, Scott is shot 4 times. Police say he ignored their commands to drop a gun. While body camera video was also released of the incident, the officer approaches with his gun drawn. Another officer is pointing his gun at Scott. Now, the footage doesn't show the moment when shots are fired, but Scott comes back. As a matter of fact, in that video, you can see him in view when he's already on the ground.
Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. He has no weapon. Keith, don't you do it.
Scott's family released their own cell phone video Friday. You can hear there his wife shouting at police, telling them not to shoot Scott. She says he is unarmed. Well, another night of peaceful protests took place last night. Charlotte is still under a state of emergency with a citywide curfew in effect. New this morning, Birmingham fire officials say they're investigating a possible meth lab. According to the Birmingham Fire Twitter page, hazmat crews plus a fire engine and a rescue truck were called to the 1300 block of Richard Arrington Jr. Boulevard South last night. Now, we have calls out this morning to find out more information about this incident from yesterday. So, of course, stay with us as we continue to follow this developing story. Developing now, a Tuscaloosa woman faces attempted murder and assault charges after allegedly attacking teenagers with a sledgehammer. Listen to this. 32-year-old Sharonda Witherspoon was arrested on Friday. A witness says she and a 17-year-old girl knocked on the door of a Tuscaloosa apartment. Now, a boy answered that door, and that's when she allegedly swung the sledgehammer at him. A 13 and 17-year-old boy were stabbed trying to break up that fight. Right now, a Hueytown High School student faces charges connected to a shooting outside a restaurant. This all happened after a football game. Now, it happened around 10:45 Friday night at the McDonald's on Allison Bonnet Memorial Drive. The teenager is charged with first-degree assault. Police say that he shot another teenager twice. The victim is at UAB but is expected to recover. New this morning, we're now a day away from the first presidential debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. It's their first face-to-face debate, and the candidates are preparing in very different styles. Trump is sticking with the campaign trail after getting a big endorsement from former GOP rival Ted Cruz. Trump says he doesn't want to over-prepare and is using his time to attack Clinton ahead of the showdown. He's also going after Clinton's running mate, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine.
And you know, he's not very popular. He won his election by a very, very close margin. When I heard she picked, I said, you know, maybe that's bad for me. We're just about tied in Virginia, and we haven't started advertising.
Meanwhile, Clinton has been preparing with her top advisors for the past few days. A longtime Clinton aide is playing the role of Trump. The debate preps come as Clinton picks up 2 big endorsements, one from the New York Times, I should say, and the other from the Cincinnati Enquirer, which broke a nearly century-long tradition of endorsing Republicans in the battleground state of Ohio. Well, the Clinton campaign is hoping the debate is the start of a big campaign push. Tim Kaine and Trump's running mate Mike Pence will be on Face the Nation, right here on CBS 42 at 9:30 this morning. Well, meanwhile, the guest list for Monday's debate could be getting interesting. Donald Trump threatened via Twitter to bring Jennifer Flowers to the debate. Bill Clinton admitted to having a sexual relationship with Flowers decades ago. Trump's taunt comes in response to Mark Cuban's plan to sit front row in the invitation of the Clinton campaign. Cuban has been a vocal critic of Trump throughout the campaign. Well, happening this week, suspended Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore will head to court on accusations that he misused his office to try and block gay couples from marrying in the state. The Alabama Court of Judiciary will hear testimony and arguments in the case against Moore on Wednesday. Now, Moore is accused of ethics violations after a January order to probate judges. Prosecutors say the trial could last a day or less. Now, Moore could be removed from office if found guilty. Coming up, attorneys are close to seating a jury in the trial of an Alabama native charged in the death of his toddler son. Justin Ross Harris is accused of leaving 22-month-old Cooper Harris to die in a hot car back in June of 2014. Lawyers on each side will get to dismiss 9 or more potential jurors out of the 45 people chosen. Opening statements are set for October 3rd in Brunswick, Georgia. Saturday was a crazy day across the college football landscape, including down in Auburn, where the Tiger versus Tiger matchup didn't disappoint. CBS 42 sports reporter Scott Griffin and Chris Wrinkle take us through the day on the plains and inside Alabama's Kent State beat down in Tuscaloosa.
A wild night on the plains only follows a wild night in Jordan-Hare Stadium. We said coming into this game, weird things happen when Auburn and LSU meet for football games. Add this one to the list of bizarre endings as the Auburn Tigers get their first SEC win of the year over number 18 LSU, 18-13 in a game where Auburn did not score a touchdown. But yet they still won the game, and that's because of Daniel Carlson. Not that Auburn didn't have opportunities to score. They made it to the red zone 6 times. They ended up scoring 5 of 6 times, all field goals. They could not punch it in. But when you got a guy like Daniel Carlson who's almost automatic from anywhere on the field, it's a really nice safety blanket to have if you're the Auburn Tigers.
I don't know if I have. I don't think I ever have. So, that was new. I definitely was busy today, but it was a lot of fun. And the most important thing is we come out with a win. It doesn't mean anything if we don't come out with a win. So, I'm really glad we were able to hang on.
Now, the Auburn Tigers had to get a thrilling victory right at the end. Alabama had no trouble with Kent State. For more, we bring in CBS 42 Scott Griffin in Tuscaloosa. Scott.
Thanks a lot, Chris. That's right. They had to get young guys to play in this football game and to step up. You knew that was going to happen at a game like Kent State, but you didn't know that it would come this way, like Damian Harris going out with an ankle sprain. So guys like Joshua Jacobs and B.J. Emmons had to come on board and do well. Jacobs, for instance, 97 yards rushing. He raised a lot of eyebrows in the locker room after the game.
I mean, it's bad when anyone goes down on our team, regardless of the position. But, it's just you have to go to the next guy that's up and, tell him that we got his back and we keep rolling.
It's huge to see from a true freshman running back, because, like I said, you never know when someone's going to go down. You just got to be ready to play. And to see that from a true freshman is awesome. What I mean is, these guys, he's matured, he's buying into the program, and that's what we need.
I've been practicing hard all week for it, all summer for it, and it all started with the O-line and the quarterback, and I just went and did my job.
Cam's a big guy that's got great hands and great range as a ball catcher, and certainly somebody that we feel like can be very productive for us.
And if you take out Jalen Hurts, who's a true freshman, and his numbers out from the offense today, you had 4 younger guys step up in big ways. Joshua Jacobs, B.J. Emmons, 2 true freshmen, Trayvon Diggs, a true freshman, and then Cam Simmons, a veteran, but hasn't played a lot. 225 yards from those 4 guys alone. So Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban have to be happy moving forward that backups performed well in this game against Kent State. Chris?
Thank you, Scott, and we'll have wrap up all of this as Auburn and Alabama big winners on this Saturday coming up tonight on the CBS 42 News at 10.
All right, thank you guys. Well, your time right now, it is 6:41. It's not too early to think about some spooky and fun Halloween plans, right? Next, we sit down with the Basset Hound Rescue of Alabama for all the details on the spooktacular Basset Bash. We'll be right back. Nate?
And we are checking out a gorgeous start to our Sunday. Nice sunrise out over Birmingham. More hot weather for today, but a cool down coming. We'll let you know when the CBS 42 Morning News continues.
This year as the Howling Champion at the Bash.
Oh, really?
So if we have a few minutes, he wants to give a shout out to everybody who wants to challenge you. Oh yeah.
So what do you do to get him to?
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back. Beautiful start to our Sunday. Gorgeous sunrise early this morning. A little bit on the warm side, though. 73 degrees outside right now. A lot of other folks, though, waking up to middle and upper 60s. We are planning to see another 90-degree day, though, this afternoon. Numbers right near 90 by lunchtime. Expecting middle 90s for this afternoon. That'll make 22 days this month where we've hit 90 degrees, but that is all about to change. A cold front right now in the Midwest, Southwest, and also the Great Lakes states moving through right now. That will be impacting our weather for tomorrow. On the backside of that is nice, cool air that will replace the sweltering heat that we've had for most of September. We'll tell you how nice it's going to feel next week in that Storm Track 7-day forecast, but right now, Alex has a favorite four-legged furry friend with us.
Yes, Nate, we do. Happening soon, as a matter of fact, for all our viewers at home, a spooky fun time for you and man's best friend, and we mean your dog, right? The Basset Hound Rescue of Alabama is hosting the spooktacular Basset Bash next month, and here with us is Michael Bergman and Theo to tell us all about it. We love when you guys stop on by.
Great to be here.
To you.
Good morning. Good morning.
So Halloween right around the corner.
Yes, ma'am. Seems like it.
Yeah. Tell us about this event.
Sure. The Basset Hound Rescue of Alabama is doing our 2016 Spooktacular Basset Bash. October the 29th, the Saturday before Halloween, from 11 until 2 at Camp Scotty in Pelham. We're going to have raffle, silent auction, BHRA merchandise for sale. We'll have some other vendors, food trucks, and of course dozens, if not up to 100 of Theo's brethren here, more baskets to join him.
And I'm sure dogs can come dressed in costumes.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and they do. Theo's, look, he's lounging. He must love this carpet.
He really enjoys the carpet. We're having a dog costume contest as well, lowest to the ground, longest ears, and of course the howling contest, which Theo's the defending champion.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and I know you were talking about that howling contest. I got to hear him. Can you get Theo to howl?
Theo. Boo! Boo!
Oh my gosh! And he has been. What, Theo? He is adorable. He is adorable. And he has held that title, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, he's looking to defend.
Absolutely. This is going to be a fun event for people to come out to. Whole lot going on. And, of course, the dogs are going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
So how can people find out about this event if they're interested and want to kind of get involved?
Absolutely, absolutely. We've got some information on our website. It's bhral.org right there on the screen. We've got a Facebook event set up, and you can certainly message our social media team and get information from them. We've got Bash shirts for sale right now. If you want to go to our website, the boutique is there. All the proceeds from anything that we sell in the boutique goes to support dogs and foster dogs and things like that. So it's really a great time and a lot of fun.
All right, perfect. Theo, do you want to wrap us real quick with a howl?
Theo, you want to get going? Boo! Boo!
Thank you. I could listen to him all day. He is the cutest. Thank you so much, Michael and Theo. Thank you guys so much for being here. Love when you guys stop on by. We are going to have all this information on our website, WIAT.com. We have so much more right after the break here on CBS 42 Morning News.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Hello, everyone. We are going to take a look at your Sunday forecast and the rest of the week. Fall is here. And Nate, as you've been saying, though, the warm temperatures are still going to be lingering today?
Yeah. I think today is the last day that we have to deal with the really intense heat. Yeah, that's a thumbs up. I am kind of excited about it because the last day we've got to deal with this heat, but this is a gorgeous sunrise. This is what I miss about working regularly in the mornings. I normally get up pretty early, but this is just a gorgeous start to a Sunday. Temperatures are a little bit on the warm side. Birmingham at 73 with lots of sunshine, and Anniston and Tuscaloosa, nice start at 69 degrees. Northeast winds very, very light right now in Tuscaloosa. Very calm wind everywhere for today. Expecting numbers in the mid-90s again for afternoon highs. In the deep south, all dry today. A little ribbon of cloud cover, no rain associated with that. But we've got showers on the other side of the Mississippi, and these showers associated with a cold front. This front is now starting to move closer to us. Over the next 36 hours or so, it will do so, and by the time we get to Monday night, this front will be through. But today, another hot and dry day. So we've got 90s once again for today. On the other side of this front, we've got some very, very cool numbers. We'll take a look at those in a second. But look what happens. Today, mostly dry, maybe a shower or two that pops up. Then for tomorrow afternoon, note the time, 3 o'clock, a couple of showers pop up. We'll see the front move through by 8, 9 to 10 o'clock and all the way through early on Tuesday. Showers will be scattered at best tomorrow. Not everyone will see a shower, but if you do, count yourself lucky because we're not going to see too much in the way of rain after that. A very mild start to the day in the Midwest. Numbers all the way in the 60s up toward Minneapolis, but all that cool air on the backside of that cold front. Numbers once again in the 90s this afternoon with not a whole lot of chance for rain. That rain chance, though does increase by Monday, and it looks like we break that 90-degree streak on Monday, a 40% chance of rain then. And look at those numbers, Tuesday through Saturday, low 80s for highs, 50s and low 60s for lows. Very fall-like next week. Alex, over to you.
Love hearing about those fall-like temperatures. Thanks so much, Nate. Well, your time right now, it is 6:53. A look at your top stories right after the break. Stay with us here on CBS 42 Morning News.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Hello. Well, if you're just waking up, we've got a recap of the top stories for you this morning. Washington authorities say the suspect behind a deadly shooting at a shopping mall is now in custody. He was arrested near his home in Oak Harbor. 5 people were killed in Friday's shooting. 8 people, including a 3-year-old girl and her father, are recovering after a shooting in Baltimore. Police believe it's related to a deadly Labor Day weekend shooting. They are still searching for the gunman. Charlotte police released dash cam and body camera footage from an officer-involved shooting that left a man dead. Police released the videos the day after Keith Lamont Scott's wife released her own cell phone video of that incident. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are preparing for tomorrow night's presidential debate. Trump is staying focused on the campaign trail, while Clinton practices with top aides, filling in as Trump. A live look at Toomer's Corner this morning in Auburn after video catches a man setting toilet paper hanging from the trees there at Toomer's Oaks on fire. Auburn fire officials say no one was hurt. And to this, speaking of Auburn, a crazy night on the Plains as the Tigers defeat LSU after a reversed call at the very last second. Auburn has their 5th home game of the season on Saturday, hosting Louisiana Monroe. And the Tide continues to roll on this season, shutting down Kent State in Bryant-Denny. Alabama will now focus on Kentucky for next Saturday's homecoming game. Nate?
Thanks a lot. After some hot action on the field yesterday, another hot day in store for us today. Numbers back in the 90s. There you see a lot of sunshine to start off our morning on Sunday. We will see a big spike in temperatures once again this afternoon. By lunchtime, we're in the 90s. I think 94, 95 degrees, definitely a possibility. As we go throughout the rest of the evening into tomorrow morning, we'll see temperatures in the 70s to start, upper 60s as well. Monday, a cold front moves through, upper 80s, close to 90 degrees for afternoon highs. But on the backside of that cold front, it's some much cooler air. Check out the Storm Track 7-day forecast. Chance of rain on Monday as the front moves in, then low 80s, no humidity during the afternoon, 50s during the evening time and early morning hours. Finally, we can talk about some fall weather for fall.
Yes.
September's just been so hot, and it looks like finally we get to enjoy some nice fall weather around here. Might even have to break out a jacket for the mornings.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
Temperatures finally taking a dip.
Great
Looking
stuff.
forward to it. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us right here on CBS 42 Morning News. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 4:30. Take care.